Channel 1. Once again, right there.
Playoffs? You want to talk about playoffs? I do. Joined by David Zink from the Press Enterprise. Zink, we got a big show. We got a really big team, and they all want some rings, I think, right? We got Santiago baseball in the house. Ty to Trinidad brought some of his guys, so we'll talk Sharks baseball. They are the Big VIII League champions. How does that sound? And then we also have Grand Terrace softball. They will join us a little bit later in the show. So we'll talk CIF Southern Section baseball and softball playoffs coming up on the Inland Sports Show. And it's all brought to you by Adrenaline Athletic Training in Corona. AdrenalineAthletic.com is the website for more information on their travel ball teams and their different training programs. We've also got Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change in Riverside. We appreciate their support, and it's right there in the name. They're going to spoil you when you go in to take care of your car. And also Remax Advantage. Nobody sells more real estate. Nobody. 909-307-5665 is the number if you would like more information on Remax Advantage. Before we get to the nitty-gritty here, talking baseball and softball playoffs here in the CIF Southern Section with the brackets coming out on Monday. We all can't wait for that. Quick shout-out to the Ken Hubs Award winners. That would be Kayla Washington, basketball star from Cajon High School, led the Cowgirls to the Division II state championship. And San Bernardino High School running back Alex Madison, the star running back out of Cardinal City, USA, taking his talents to Boise State. They are your Ken Hubs Award winners in 2016. It was the 52nd annual Ken Hubs. And Inland Sports was proud to be a part of it. We did the whole ceremony live. You can watch it still on the Inland Sports YouTube channel, as 25 different schools had representatives for a boys and girls winner, and then, of course, the overall winner, and that would be Alexander Madison and Kayla Washington from Cajon High School. Now to the high school baseball playoffs. Oh, man, we can't touch them all. We'd like to, but we can't get to all of them. But a couple of quick shout-outs to some of these league champions. Citrus Hill, your Mountain Pass League champion. Everybody loves the dog pile. We're looking at a picture of them doing the dog pile as they beat Tockwitz this week to wrap up the Mountain Pass League Championship. We've also got JW North, third in Chicago, got it done this week against the Riverside Poly Bears. Steve Madrill, the skipper, had taken his team back to the playoffs with those cool uniforms, which is a backstory to Santiago, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. And another one, Redlands East Valley won the Citrus Belt League Championship, at least a share of it. They're going to share it with Carter, and it was pretty crazy. Final week of the regular season in CBL. Rev, Ukaipa, and Carter all tied for first place, and Redlands was trying to play the role of spoiler, so Redlands played Carter, and Rev played Ukaipa head-to-head, and it was Rev beating Ukaipa 1-0. James Cordes getting the Gatorade bath at the end, and Carter had to rally, but they did beat Redlands 6-5, so that means Carter and Rev share the title in the CBL. So those are some of the better league title races that were decided here in the final week of the season, but now we're looking ahead to the playoffs, and joining us live in studio, it's the Santiago Sharks. Coach, can you give me a Santiago? Can you give me one of those?
No, I don't think
I think you can. I mean, come on, I think you can.
Santiago.
Close enough. Tied to Trinidad. Introduce your players who you brought here today for the Inland Sports Show.
Yeah, we brought back Ryan Williams, our second baseman, committed to Cal State Fullerton, and our senior third baseman, Ryan Knowles, going to Cal Baptist.
Nice, Fullerton and Cal Baptist. Guys, first off, congratulations on that Big VIII League championship. Across the board, Coach, I'll let you go first on this. Man, is there a better league than the Big VIII League? I mean, you could look in a lot of different places, but the Big VIII League from top to bottom is just so tough, and there's so many good teams and so many good players. It's hard to say who's going to win the league every season.
Yeah, I think with respect to the area, I mean, Southwestern's probably right there with us, but our league looking top to bottom, there's always a competitor out there, a competitive team that on any given day can beat somebody. If you look across the board, no one's going to go undefeated in our league, and that's the thing we've seen all year long happen.
All right, guys, let me ask you. So you've got all these great teams in the Big VIII League. You guys were in the Boris Classic. You've seen a lot of good teams, a lot of talented players. Go ahead, just grab the mic, because like I said, I'm loud, and I apologize for that. But, I mean, you've seen some good players. So Why not us? Is that kind of your approach as you head to the playoffs? You guys are Big VIII League champs. You've seen good teams. Why not us, right?
No, absolutely, and that's actually one of the things that Coach D says repeatedly. And it's always just find an excuse to win. There's always an excuse to win, and instead of sitting there and wondering, how are we going to do this? Just go out there and get it done. Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to step up. So everybody has to go out there with the mentality that they're going to be that guy, and that somebody's going to do something for us that's going to get us there. And we've shown that in some of the games. Coming into the Boris Classic, there was a lot of talk about how we were one of the weaker teams, and it was like, okay, well.
You guys have a chip on your shoulder? I mean, did you kind of take that into it?
A little bit. We touched on it a little bit before the first game, because there was all kinds of tweets going out from different reporters and stuff, and so we've kind of had to have that mentality almost. So that's kind of one of the themes on the team, and I think it helps us because it gets the mentality right. We can't be sitting there wondering what we're going to do. We got to be ready to go and ready to find a way to win.
So you guys lost to Norco yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did you guys go all out, or was it like, you know what, we got the league title, we've got the playoffs around the corner, we're going to call off the dogs a little bit. Coaches look at that.
I think maybe from a complacency standpoint that might have happened. There was no mentality in the team room that, hey, you know what, we got this. This game doesn't matter. I mean, that wasn't it at all. We were going out there to win the last series of league, and we wanted to take every series, and it was a very important game to us. So there was no, intentional, back off the throttle at all. I think, maybe at some point there was, as with many of the games that we've played, we kind of just let off, as in, oh, we got this, or we don't really jump on them in the first, second, third inning, and we wait till fifth, sixth, or seventh inning to really get a rally going, and by then it's too late. And I think that was the case yesterday for sure. So
did Coach give it to you after the game? Did he have a very special pep talk for you guys?
I mean, at this point, you can't do too much about what's behind you, and like we're talking about the playoffs, we can't let this bring us down. Like he said, we're still Big VIII League champs. That game didn't change it, and as much as we wanted to win it, there's nothing we can do about it now, and we're in the playoffs, so we got a whole new monster to deal with, and we got to be ready to go for that instead of dwelling on what happened. So there was, he addressed what I just addressed. Those were mostly his words about you can't do that. So now it's just about getting ready for playoffs. He did let us know we would have some interesting practices ahead of us. Come
So what would the
Tuesday,
first round game be, like Thursday, Friday?
For us, it'll be Friday.
Friday, okay.
We'll find out Monday at 10.
All right, 17-11 overall, 11-4 in the land of the Big VIII. Corona Norco, one game back at 10-5. Just speaks to the fact that how competitive the Big VIII League was this season. Coach, going into this year, when you looked at the guys that you had, did you think, you know what, if we can put this thing together, we could probably do something here? But knowing that the Big VIII League was still very competitive.
Yeah, looking at last year was the first time we'd missed the playoffs in quite a long time. We've been there 16 years. We've been there 14 out of 16, and we were 17-9 last year. That's actually a pretty good record for most.
And not get in the postseason.
And not get in the postseason. And the way we lost, and so we sat down with a lot of the returning guys and said, hey, this is our goal. This is where we're at. Either get on the bus or get off. And there was really no nonsense. So, this fall we changed some things up, and guys got on, and honestly they bought in and did exactly what we needed to do. We played a tougher schedule. We added 3 more games. If you look at our schedules, our strength of schedules is up there. And that's why I said you look at what we played in the Newport Elks tournament. We scrimmaged Olu for a doubleheader, in the Boris tournament. And I think it did prepare us for league. Our goal was to do well in league, where last year I think we were off the mark a little bit on that. And so, this year 11-4 in league and getting by that first round undefeated really put us in the driver's seat for the rest of the way.
We got the Santiago Sharks here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM. Plus, we are live and amplified around the world on the Inland Sports YouTube channel. Coach at Trinidad, we love Williams and Knowles over here. Where's Bryce Terrain? What's so important on a Saturday that he couldn't join us in studio? It's the biggest show in the history of sports talk radio, and he can't even be here in studio.
Agreed. I know. After the game, he wanted to go take extra BP, and I think with the way things went, he might have stayed there a little longer than he needed to. So he was still in bed when we called. So
I think it's a Santiago thing. Because I remember one time we had Blake Barnett, and we told him, "Hey, you got to be here at 11 a.m." And he's like, "11 a.m. That's early." Like, what are you talking? It's 11 a.m. Come on, man.
Blake was my TA. I know. He's always late with my coffee. I know Blake.
But he claims to be part of the I don't get tired team.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, of course you don't get tired. You sleep till 11 a.m. every day.
Exactly.
I wouldn't get tired either.
That's Blake.
You walked in, of course, I noticed the kicks. I'm a shoe guy myself. I love your style, Coach. You got to look good to play good, right? Talk about the uniforms at Santiago. You compared yourself off the air to the Oregon Ducks, similar, right? All those different uniform changes.
Well, my boy Steve Madrill tends to give us a hard time over at North, going every time they turn around, you got a different uniform on. So it's just something that's kind of grown. I came from a place that we had one uniform, and it is what it is. And so as we've evolved at Santiago, it's just kind of been our thing now. Every year we look for something different, so we kind of push the envelope, which I was against, but times have changed. It's all about look good, feel good, play well.
Yeah.
That's our motto, right?
Let me ask you guys, which one's your favorite? Like if Coach said, you guys pick. It's postseason, first round. It's up to you guys.
I personally, I prefer the All Blacks. I think it looks real good on us.
Sounds hot, though. Is it hot? It sounds hot.
Well, the All Blacks we've used for most of our night games. So when we played at J. Sarah at night, we wore them, and they tend to be, a little hot because we're an All Black. But
What's with
yeah,
Santiago's fascination with making black on black, making it impossible? The football uniforms are black numbers on a black jersey with a little bit of teal around the outside of it. On a field that's 50 yards wide, it's impossible to even know who it is.
Stealth.
You're
We
guessing
come at you stealth.
Yeah, where'd they come
Call
from?
it stealth night.
like a shark.
Yeah, that's it. Coming at you.
Is there one uniform you're like, you know what, that's kind of our lucky charm. We play really well in this uniform.
It's funny because that uniform kind of changes every year. It's kind of, throughout the season we'll start wearing a certain uniform, and nobody really ever addresses it. It's just kind of known like, hey, we really like that uniform. So I think away we almost always go all grays, and a lot of the guys like that uniform. So I feel like that might be our away one. But for me this year, it felt like our retro Astro jerseys with the stripes down them. I felt like those were our jerseys to wear when we were really on. I felt like we were wearing those jerseys.
That's pretty tight. Yeah. Like the White Sox, too. Remember, the White Sox
Yeah.
had a similar style,
Yeah,
right, in the 80s?
Yeah, we have the Astros, but with teal.
Yeah.
We haven't worn the camos in a while.
We haven't
Camouflage.
Yeah.
Real quick, can you list all the uniforms you have? Like the different, like you said, the camo, the all black.
We have teal, black, gray. Missing one.
all white.
All white with the in between and black.
And then I think that's it.
We're missing one.
Last year we broke out vests.
Oh, we have vest. Yeah, every once in a while I'll bring the retro out.
Really?
Yeah, we still have vest. Yeah.
Who decides? Like, if it's game day, like, who decides?
Our starting pitcher usually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they have preferences? Like, is there, like that, one pitcher always says, I got to have this one.
I think the guys kind of manipulate it during practice when they know who the
Yeah.
starters are. Like, hey, what are you thinking? What do you
Yeah.
think? And I just ask the starter, what are we wearing? And these guys go. Stirrups still my thing. I'm trying to stay away from, but we've won it a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
a stirrups guy.
You're not a superstitious guy?
Oh, I'm very superstitious.
Oh, are you really?
I just don't like the stirrups.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's kind of any superstitions, like on game day or anything like that? Do you eat the same food?
I
do the
try
same
to.
thing?
Yeah, I do the same routine. I got to cut the infield, got to cut the outfield. No one talks to me. If you bug me, I'm usually not a happy camper before game time.
So you guys stay away from
Oh,
those?
yeah, they know.
Oh yeah. No, there's a routine. Every time we roll up to the field on game day, he's mowing, and
Don't disturb me.
there's no talking until he gets in the office and ready to go for game time. He gets his pregame in, and we get our pregame in.
So, guys, let me ask you, between now and Friday, your first round game in the Division I CIF Southern Section playoffs, what do you guys want to fix? I mean, was there maybe something from the Norco game, maybe something as you look at the season as a whole, something you guys look at and you're like, you know what, if we can just remedy that one spot, I think we're going to make a pretty good run here.
I think the one thing, in all honesty, that we just need to fix is we leave a lot of guys on base with scoring position, runner second and third. It's just we got to have the ability to put contact on the ball and just do something with it. Just get that runner on third in, and it just hasn't been going our way this season. But we've been working hard still and pulling out these wins. But yeah, so I would say that's our biggest issue.
Yeah, no, I was going to say the same exact thing as timely hitting, and I think I've seen more than one headline of our score recap on Game Changer this year, Max Preps, and it says, Santiago outslugs opponent but loses whatever to whatever. We're hitting the ball, it's just that we get runners in scoring position, and for some reason we're just not hitting the ball at the right time. You get two guys on base, somebody hit a double and then a single, and then the next two guys pop out. Now you're sitting with the runner on first and third still, but you got two outs. So I think our big problem has just been the ability to really string those hits together at the right time, because we'll have guys hitting triples and doubles, but
You leave them stranded.
leave them stranded.
Coach, I'm a big box score guy. I love box scores. Do you always look at the left on base number after a game?
14 was our number yesterday. So
14? Yeah.
That's
So
a big stat we
so
look
you were
at.
not a happy camper.
No, first two innings, we left 5 guys on with less than 2 outs, and it just progressed. And I think what happens is guys get in that situation, and they just put a little more pressure than they need to. And like I told them, it's 90 feet. Let's play the game of inches, and let's do it. And you'll see if you look at our box score, there's games where we really break out, and we put it together. And you'll see games where we left a lot of guys on because we just didn't come through. And yesterday was a prime factor of that. And that's just something like Ryan said. We just got to continue to push, and it'll go. It happens.
So as the Big VIII League champion, you think you'd get a good draw, right, in the playoffs? I mean, but the Division I talent pool is just ridiculous of all the great teams going down into Orange County and whatnot. So even your first round game, I mean, to make a run in playoffs, I mean, that's really saying something because even your first round game could be a battle, right?
Absolutely. I mean, looking at it all the way through, I mean, it's funny, all the coaches are talking now, who do you think? And they try to say locally, but again, you just don't know. I remember a few years back, we were the first place team, and I think I mentioned we faced Edison, and they were the third place team, and Henry Owens was our guy, and he no-hit us. He's in the big leagues now. You know, you just don't know. I mean, Huntington Beach is probably going to come in third. They were number 1 team in the nation. We played them in the Boars, so hey, good luck.
Yeah.
Here's
You
your
won
reward
league.
yeah, here's your reward. You get to be at home against one of the toughest teams in the country, you know. And so, but again, like anything, it's the playoffs. It's about who gets hot, and funny things happen. And that's you look around and who's won it and things like that. And the right team gets hot, a break goes your way, and
Well, we saw Arlington last year. They had a great run in the postseason.
absolutely, I
mean,
got
so-
to see them play against Corona that game. That was a wild one.
Guys, we're running out of time, but real quick, just your thoughts on, like finish this sentence basically. In order for Santiago to make a deep run in the playoffs, the Sharks must ... We'll start with you guys. We'll just go left to right. What do you guys have to do well in the postseason here?
I think we must stay in the game, and I think that's been a theme all year. Is we get our whole bench involved in the game. You know, everybody's on the fence, everybody's into the game, every single pitch, nobody's missing it. And I think on days like yesterday, when stuff starts to not go our way, we tend to get flat, and that just brings the morale down. And you know, when we play well, we really play well. You know, when we're hitting on all cylinders, we're a pretty good team. You know, and I believe we could compete with the best teams out there. But on days like yesterday, you know, like Coach said, first 2 innings, 5 guys left on base, and everybody's just kind of like, dude, what's going on?
It's not
You
going to
know,
cut it in the playoffs.
It's not getting done,
Yeah.
and I think that just kind of brings it down, and that can't happen in a playoff game. You know, momentum is huge, and I think just staying up and keeping that momentum is key.
Got it. How about you, man?
Definitely, my opinion, we just need to stay relaxed. We can't put too much pressure on ourselves. We just got to stay loose on the field. Just keep our heads clear and not put too much pressure on ourselves going in.
Coach?
Finish. Details. I'm a big detail guy. I pay attention to detail, little things, and that's what's going to happen. A lot of times teams they slip up because they're facing someone new, and at the end of the day, got to stick to the game plan. And they know our formula. They know it works, and we stick to it. We're going to be fine. We just got to do the little things. That's finish.
All right, that's Santiago baseball here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. Guys, we really appreciate you taking the time on a Saturday to join us. Best of luck in the playoffs. Thank you for representing the IE and the Big VIII League. We're big fans.
Thank you.
So we'd love to see an all-IE battle. Hopefully you get north. I'm just
That'd be
saying,
nice.
I would love to see you and Madrill go head to
That'd be a
head.
great crowd. I owe you a shirt.
All right, hey, yeah, we'd
Yeah.
love a Shark shirt here.
Absolutely.
We'll represent.
Absolutely.
All right, when we come back, we'll talk a little softball. Grand Terrace will be in the house, and update on the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame, Inland Sports involved with that. I'm an executive board member. Yes, I can't believe it either, but they asked me, and I'm doing it, so we'll talk about that, the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame, when we come back on the one and only Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. Did you kill the mic?
We focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, And I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
Every sport that we offer here, the performance training is definitely specific to what they need. A lot of people actually come in here for the performance training, and also we have our travel ball program with our softball and baseball teams. Our performance training definitely to get quicker, stronger, faster.
We focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM, plus live and amplified on the Inland Sports YouTube channel. We just had Santiago in the house. Those guys were great. We appreciate them taking the time to join us here on this Saturday, talk about their Big VIII League championship and, of course, the CIF Southern Section playoffs coming up right around the corner. The brackets come out on Monday. I love it because I'm like salivating, waiting for see the matchups come out. And as a league champion, they will be home in the first round. But after that, it could get dicey, especially in Division I. There's so many great teams, so it could be. It's hard to say, I guess you could say. After that first round in Division I, who you might face, and if you can make a deep run, like he said, a lot of luck, and trying to string together a couple of victories against, like he said, Huntington Beach, who was number 1 in the nation, is the number 3 team out of their league, which is just silly. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But that's the way it is in Division I. And Division II, III, I mean, they're all super competitive. We saw Carter High School, the 4th place team out of the CBL last year, make it to the quarterfinals in D2. So really, anything can happen. You just got to get to the playoffs and get hot at the right time. So we're brought to you by Adrenaline Athletic Training, adrenalineathletic.com, Remax Advantage, nobody sells more real estate, and Spoiled, quick quality oil change. Now, the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame is coming up this Monday, the class of 2016. If you haven't heard, it's Dusty Baker. He's the skipper right now of the Washington Nationals. He's going into the Hall of Fame, as well as Leon Parma, David Ashley, auto racer, Adam Kennedy, former Angels star, 2002 World Series hero and ALCS hero, Joanna Hayes for track, Sue Gazansky, former UC Riverside volleyball coach, and Henry Coyle, a philanthropist. That's a hard word to say. He's also going in for his donations and what he's done locally in the community. So that's the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame. You can still buy tickets. RiversideSportHallOfFame.com is the website, and you can get more information there and get your tickets, or you could buy a table. Maybe there's a whole group that's going, or your organization. You can buy an entire table, but that's this Monday, the Riverside Convention Center. You don't want to miss out. The Riverside Sport Hall of Fame had I guess you'd call it a hiatus for about a year, but it's back. It's better than ever. There's lots of people who dearly care about this thing, and they're getting it back on the right track, and they've got a great class of 2016. And as a baseball guy, I mean, Adam Kennedy and Dusty Baker, that's pretty cool. They're going into the Hall of Fame. It's this Monday at the Riverside Convention Center. All right, something else I wanted to touch on as we wait to get to the CIF Southern Section softball talk with Grand Terrace High School is a lot of these high schools are having their high school football showcases for colleges. And basically what it is a bunch of teams get together at one location and college coaches come. UCLA, Stanford, USC, Washington State, a lot of the Pac-12 and West Coast schools come out and they like to see the college showcases. Now, Centennial had one, Norco had one, the Rancho Verde High School had one, and San Gorgonio High School. I stopped by the San G one. San G had, it was San G, Carter, Redlands East Valley, and Cajon. And there was 40 Division I coaches there. It was unbelievable. I mean, New Mexico, Kansas, Utah State. I mean, every single team you could probably think of, you saw that polo shirt and logo there at the showcase. And what's interesting is, if you're at the showcase, and this is something I like to observe other people and how they react and what they're saying or doing, it's kind of like, and we've got Mason Jandro and Cameron Trudell here, and they're going to be helping us out here on the Inland Sports Show. It's kind of like there's a hot girl at school, and you're talking with your buddies, and she walks by, and everyone just like stops dead in their tracks, and they just like watch her walk by. Well, at the showcases, I saw it several times, but the one that sticks out in my mind is Jeremiah Martin from Cajon High School. Big, strong, athletic kid. He's a basketball star. He's also a football player. He walks by, and all the college coaches like stop. They're all like taking notes or talking. They all stop, and they're just looking this guy up and down like, oh my gosh, that is the best thing I have ever seen. So it's just kind of funny to see all these college coaches. I mean, they love they're checking out these guys. I mean, that's basically what's going on because a lot of these guys get offered scholarships right there on the spot. So it's pretty neat to see that happen. A college coach might like the guy, and right there he just pulls the trigger and offers him a scholarship. And at the showcase I went to at San Gorgonio, there were so many great players. And leading the way was Jalen Phillips, who's already committed to UCLA. But I bet you there's some other college coaches saying, you know what? Don't forget about us. Even though I know he's a solid commit, his family goes deep with UCLA, but it's just one of those things that, they might come out and look at him. And the good byproduct of all this is you go out to see like guys like Jalen Phillips from Rev, but all the other guys get exposure. How about Rev quarterback Armando Herrera? I mean, there was a ton of college coaches surrounded him when he was going through his drills. So you come out maybe for the big D1 guy that's already verbally committed, so it's not set in stone quite yet. But all these other guys get some great exposure too. And my big takeaway as well from San G was San Gorgonio football, they're going to be really good this year. I'm calling it right now. San G's going to be really good. Yes, Zink.
So with that being said, there's recruiting and then there's, committing as a 2017 commitment and then backing out of that commitment. Is this going to add to that? I commit to you, no, I'm going to back off. I'm going to go see what else I can find. I mean, because there's already a lot of that. It seems like that's just going to add to it.
Well, I get excited about the verbal commitments, but I always do it with a grain of salt because
right.
A lot of these big-time players from the Inland Empire, they go out, they verbally commit to a school, and it's not the school they end up signing with.
Right, but I mean, then maybe just don't have any verbal commit. How about we just wait? Just keep going.
If I had a son, that's what I'd tell him to do. Don't go out there and say, I'm going to Arizona State or I'm going to this school. I would just say, you know what, just sit tight, make it a surprise on signing day, just pick a school.
It's like love and marriage. You're dating. I'm just dating, okay? I'm not committed to anybody. I'm just dating. Figure it out. And then, at some point you got to commit. And when you have to commit, you do it. You sign on a piece of paper.
I mean, there's a variety of reasons why you might change your mind, but we've seen it time and time again. Blake Barnett committed to Notre Dame, ends up at Alabama. Sharon Jones committed to Florida, ended up at Tennessee. Most recently, Freddie Holly committed to Arizona State, ended up at Hawaii. So it's not a bad thing. It's just,
but it's just one of those things where instead of just making kids verbally commit so you can feel better about yourself, we got a verbal commit. I mean, I think that's more for the recruiters and the coaches at the university saying, no, we got this kid to commit. Even if he, bounces eventually, you still could say, well, we had him committed for a while.
And even when they commit, there's still work to do because
right.
They still have to follow up. So, hey, how are you feeling? Are we still good? Are you having second thoughts? Like, what can I do? Because
it's dating.
Until they put their name on that line, it's still fair game.
So either put a ring on the finger, or I don't know.
Put a ring
Whatever.
on it. Well, I mean, that's just the. I think it's more so for the recruiting websites. The recruiting websites go nuts
But
when
what-
people verbally commit.
But what you described to me, and I don't mean to make it this raw, but you described like the kind of hanging out at the club, checking out the ladies. That's what you described to me.
Yeah, it's the football field, but with
There's
coaches.
kind of an odd creep factor to that, isn't there?
It's funny. They all sit back with their sunglasses, like they're too
and
cool
they're
for
all
school.
wearing sunglasses, right?
Yeah, and they all got their notes, and they're all talking to each other, and they're writing stuff down. And then some dude walks by, like Jeremiah Martin or Jalen Phillips, and it is stop, like boom, stop. They look. I mean, they literally they tilt their head up and down, like whoa.
If this was a movie, it would slow down to that slow motion with the guy walking by and everybody else just turning heads.
Yeah.
Very slowly as some rock song plays. And then all of a sudden it goes right back to regular. Oh, hey, let's see this guy throw a football.
It cracks me up, but here's the good thing. It's great exposure for all these kids, these programs. A lot of them don't have the opportunity to be seen, face to face with a lot of these college recruiters. So this is their opportunity, and there's so much good in it. It just kind of cracks me up because, like I said, I'm one of those guys that likes to sit back and observe, and I like human behavior. I mean, like I'm the guy at Disneyland who sits back and
you're the anthropologist among sports writers.
Australopithecus pekinensis is my anthropology background. I studied a little anthropology and archaeology.
I know you did. You've discussed that before. I think you were discussing that with Logan one time.
I think I was, yeah. So, anyways, I was sitting back, and that's my big takeaway from it. It just kind of cracks me up that all these college coaches are just salivating over these high school football players.
And it's only expanding because now you have satellite camps that the NCAA first went against, and now they're back for. And they're allowing them to happen where you're going to have Alabama going into the Northeast and the West Coast, and you're going to have Ohio State looking all over for kids and that kind of thing. And I don't know if it makes it better or worse. We'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Well, on that note, I ran into Coach Mariani from the University of Redlands, and he and I are tight. He's my boy. I got a lot of boys, but he's one boy out there.
You do.
And they've got Colorado, Washington, and Washington State coming to the University of Redlands in June. And I was at, I think it was the Washington State camp. I mean, Mike Leach was there. I mean, the head coach of the Washington State Cougars, he was in the house.
Did he try and lock you up in a shed?
No. What was that from?
I'm not, just
No,
saying.
that was another
Leach.
coach, wasn't it? Was
Nope.
it Leach?
Yeah, it was Leach.
When he was at Texas Tech?
Yep.
No, he was a good dude, and that's another one of those like satellite camps where you go down to an area that's
Can I
kind
just
of.
say allegedly?
Could you say allegedly?
Yeah.
Just do it in there.
Sorry.
But they go to these places that are rich in football talent, like the Inland Empire, and they set up camp. All these guys come out, they get their free U of R shirt, they work out, they run drills, they do some 7-on-7, maybe a little 11-on-11 too, and they get great exposure. I mean, it's a good deal.
I think for the guy who's really on the cusp and no one's really sure as to whether he's a D1 guy or a D2 guy, that guy really benefits from something like this. The guy that is already getting 45 letters from 45 different schools, that's kind of probably a pain a little bit, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them, like going back to the Jalen Phillips scenario, a guy who's verbally committed to UCLA, he's, as verbally committed as you can be to a school that had, deep roots in his family.
Now, he actually was really, really talking, serious about it. Remember, we had him and we talked to him, and when we did, he was adamantly going to UCLA.
Yeah. So he's set in stone, I would say. As close as you can be without signing your name.
But in concrete, it's not dry yet.
But now guys like Armando Herrera and some of
Right.
his other players, and the guys from Cajon and Carter, and in Sanji, I mean, they're all, coaches might be coming out to see Jalen, but everyone else is getting exposure to. So it's a cool deal.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking it.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not knocking it. All right, now to the high school softball playoffs. We're waiting for Grand Terrace to show up in studio. Bobby Flores hit me up, and earlier this week he's like, man, it's an honor to come on to the Inland Sports Show, which I think he was just being nice. But he said it was an honor to come on the Inland Sports Show, and I was like, hey, we'd love to have you. You guys, they've only lost one game all year. It was the Great Oak. It was a 1-zip game like in the first week of the season, but they've gone, I don't know, like 23 in a row, whatever it's been, and they reached the CIF Southern Section Championship game last year, falling to Lucerna 5-4 in the Division III championship game down in Irvine. So I said, Coach, we got to get you on. I mean, you guys definitely going to get back in the CIF championship game. Let's talk about your season. Let's talk about the playoffs. Let's talk about what you learned about last year coming up short in the finals. And then he texted me this morning. He said he had a little emergency at practice, so I hope everything's okay.
Well, so do I. I mean, really.
So
we've had some good luck with Grand Terrace High School. A lot of teams come on from Grand Terrace High School.
we did, huh? We had
More than Colton, to tell you the truth.
Oh, where's Greg at?
I don't know.
That's not a knock on
Sorry.
Colton. We love Colton. We love the Yellow Jackets.
Well,
I was there on.
Grand Terrace is just East Colton.
Don't tell that to Greg. He'll be highly offended.
Well, because he's from North Colton, not South.
There's a very distinct difference
Didn't
between
know, but
north
now we
and
do.
south and east and west. So it's a lot of differences I had no idea in the Colton area. In Grand Terrace, I mean, that's just like a foreign country compared to Colton, right? I mean, they will not claim Grand Terrace.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so Grand Terrace getting ready for a big playoff run in softball. They're 23-1 overall. They were 15-0, excuse me, in the Sunkist League, so nobody even touched them in the Sunkist League. Also, keep an eye on, remember, Ukaipa, they won the Division II championship last year, 1-0 against Mission Viejo. Ukaipa repeated as the Citrus Belt League champion, so keep an eye on the Thunderbirds. And in Division I, man, it's like the land of the Big Eight. You can just pencil in a Big VIII League school reaching the Division I finals, whether it's Santiago or King or Norco. Last year, it was Norco winning the whole thing 4-2 against West Ranch. So something about softball in the IE, especially the Big VIII League, man, it's uncomparable. Like, I mean, there's so many good teams, and it looks like Norco or Santiago has a chance to make another run at the Division I championship. And that's saying a lot because there's a lot of good teams in Orange County as well.
And that's been a battle. Both baseball and softball in the Big VIII League has been a real battle, both sides.
Yeah, it's coming down to the wire. I mean, it's because there's so many good players and so many good teams that it's really hard to say, you know, going into a season like, oh, okay, well, they're the favorite. Or on paper, they've got a lot of D1 players. I mean, because really top to bottom, it's unprecedented how good they are, especially in softball. So, anyways, we're going to hold tight for Grand Terrace, but when we come back, we'll talk more about that, and I'll tell you why Cal Baptist University should be hosting the West Regional. They need to. They should be. I'll tell you why when we come back on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM.
You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
Every sport that we offer here, the performance training is definitely specific to what they need. A lot of people actually come in here for the performance training, and also we have our travel ball program with our softball and baseball teams. Our performance training definitely to get quicker, stronger, faster.
We focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio.
They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out.
Santiago in the house, talking about their great season. Still hoping to get Grand Terrace on. They were practicing today, so they were actually on the field. And hoping Coach Flores could pop in here, but we're kind of running out of time here. But if he pops in, we'll definitely get him on the air because we want to give Grand Terrace plenty of love. They've had a great year, trying to get back to the Division III championship game coming up short against Lucerna last year. It's all brought to you by Adrenaline Athletic Training. AdrenalineAthletic.com is the website. Spoiled, quick, quality oil change, a big supporter of Cal Baptist baseball. And Remax Advantage. Nobody sells more real estate. Nobody. All right, so we've had a really good run of interns, Inc. Really good run. We had world famous intern Angel, who's now at USC doing big things. We had intern Ja Rule, who's set to graduate from Cal State Northridge. And we had no nickname intern Nick, who I just found out, confirmed it. He is going to Humboldt State. So if he plays his cards right, he could be the next Pep Fernandez. How cool is that?
And these guys seem like pretty live wires, Pep.
They're going to do great things, and we've got a couple new guys. We're going to have a third guy. Do you guys?
A whole crew. You'll be competing.
Perfect.
Well, here's the deal, guys. We got Mason Jandro. He's a pitcher at San Bernardino Valley College. We've got Cameron Trudell, who's an infielder, right? Yeah. Infielder at Holy Names University. And we like to give our, the guys associated with our show, our interns, we give them nicknames, like to have fun with them. We put them on the air. See, we're not the place where it's like, hey, Mason, I need some coffee, and Cameron, can you wash my car while we're on the air?
It can be, Pep.
He did it though.
Yeah, he did.
We could turn it into
maybe in addition to.
We could turn it into like a Survivor show where we have 3 people and they have to all fight for our wants.
Who gets to wash my car this week?
I think it might work.
No, but we like to put you guys on the air. We want to have you go out, interview people. We want to get your reporting down, being on air, all that stuff. So we just want to take a moment before we talk Cal Baptist baseball and get to know you guys a little bit better. If you're going to be showing your faces around here, we want to know what you guys are all about. So we'll just go left to right. Mason Jandro rocking the Bass Pro Shops hat. So it's already all good. So Mason, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a pitcher at SBVC, right?
Yeah, I just finished up at SBVC pitching. I just got my AA in communications, so I'll be taking that to Cal State San Bernardino and expanding on that to get my bachelor's, and hopefully still playing ball there at Cal State. The coach is looking at me, and soon to have a tryout there to start and pitch and get a ride. So that's exciting, and I just want to thank Pep for this opportunity because this is what I want to do my whole life, and to be around sports has always been a dream of mine. So I want to thank him for that.
So you're a Husky for life, though, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. When you guys talk about Big VIII, I mean I know Big VIII as much as you guys know Big VIII. Except for football, every other sport is very competitive because Centennial we roll that. And that's what we pay for. So
He's right.
It's impressive to see that, and it was almost boring in a sense. If you go to a football game and you're like, well, this is gonna be a blowout. Like, we beat every team by 60 points, so it's like until the playoffs happen, that's when stuff happens.
The truth.
He's cocky too.
He's
I like
speaking
this.
the truth.
He's got some swag. You see that? He's like, yeah, we blow him out.
We
this
do.
sucks. I want to go get pizza.
It is. Like,
Come on, the Endless
leave
Sports
during
Show.
halftime because it's over already.
Man, come on, guys. We're killing these guys. Let's go.
All right, Cameron. From Woodcrest Christian, right? Tell us a little bit about
Woodcrest
yourself.
Christian, graduated last year up at Holy Names University. It's up north in Oakland, California. Division II, played baseball there. Majoring in communications. Just got back from school on Monday. Finished up the season. Just got hurt about mid-season. Had to sit out. But the year went well, and I'm looking forward to the summer and working out here with you guys. And
So what was the injury? But you're doing good now, right?
yeah, so I played the corner infields, and I was at third base pregame. And I was taking a slow roller toward my backhand and rolled my ankle and tore ligaments in my ankle. So I was out for about a month and a half, 2 months. Just got released from a boot. I was in a boot carrying that thing around for about a month. And but now I'm good, slowly but surely. Hopefully to get back playing summer ball in San Diego this year. So I'm looking to come back strong.
All right, guys. Favorite sport? We'll do this kind of rapid fire. You don't have to give me a long answer. Favorite sport outside of baseball? Because you're both baseball players. We know that. Favorite sport outside of baseball?
Are we talking live to watch live or just favorite sport in general?
Any sport.
If you couldn't play baseball or watch baseball, what would you want to play?
Yeah,
or
maybe
watch?
on TV or if you hang out with your friends.
Hockey.
Hockey.
Hockey, all right. Cameron?
Have you ever? Wait, hold on. Have you ever played hockey?
Yeah, I played 1 year of hockey.
Seriously,
Oh,
so he's
Yeah.
played some hockey.
He's a hockey guy.
Mine would be football. I'm a big Denver Broncos fan. Won the Super Bowl this year, so grew up a Broncos fan. Big football fan. Grew up playing football until I went to high school. And Woodcrest Christian doesn't carry a football
That's
program
right.
yet, but they're looking to get one in the next few years. So yeah, I would say football would be my sport.
All right, favorite thing to do when you're not hitting the books, when you're not on the Inland Sports Show, when you're not playing baseball? What's your favorite thing to do?
I just hang out with friends, having a good time. I think that's like the best thing that I like to do outside of school and outside of baseball.
Yeah, I'm a family friends guy. Being away from home now, coming back during the summer, I like to spend time with my family, and because I'm up north and playing baseball and stuff, don't have a lot of time to come home. So when I come home,
So your college roommate, are you a cook or a clean guy? I cook or I clean. There's always a guy who's like, oh no, I'll cook.
Yeah.
And the other guy, there's other guys in there like, I can't cook and I hate that, but I'll tell you what, I'll clean up.
That's me, because I can't cook, so I'm like, I'll clean,
I'd rather cook. I can't stand
I'd rather cook, but I can't cook.
You guys should be roommates.
Yeah, right there.
Maybe be
could have got
here.
clean.
See, we've got this whole like what do you call it, road rules type house.
Exactly. It's perfect.
We'll put them in a Winnebago, and they'll have to sleep out here in the parking lot for 4 months, 3 months while
Oh my
they're.
gosh, cracks me up. Okay,
All right, never mind.
but I think we're on to something. I think you're right, Zeke. I think we're on to something here. You're listening to the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. We've talked baseball. We've talked softball. We're going to get to CBU in just a second. Another reminder of the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame. Coming up on Monday night at the Riverside Convention Center. You can still get your tickets or buy an entire table at riversidesporthalloffame.com.
Can I go shameless plug?
Sure.
So in tomorrow's paper, a story that I've written about Josh Nava, Riverside Poly defensive back, who was had a head injury and serious condition. I think everybody's heard about Josh's story, but he will be in the Press Enterprise A section tomorrow morning. A great story. I got to meet and talk to him. You know, you think when someone has a brain injury or something like that, there's a really long rehab process, which there is. But in Josh's case, he seemed to come out with flying colors. With he's other than I think a short-term memory that's still coming back, things like that. You would never know that he was a kid who spent 3 days 4 months ago in a coma. And so it's pretty amazing. And he's also going to be at the Hall of Fame. He's going to be getting an award for his, I think it's courage, right?
Yeah, it's like an inspiration award. So it's pretty cool. It's first annual, so I think it's something they want to do year after year. And Josh Nava.
And a great kid.
Yeah.
And he's got a ring from St. John Bosco 2013 championship. How many people can say that?
Wait, is that when they beat Centennial?
Yes.
Is that like a Southern California?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, they won state, didn't they beat De La
Yeah.
Salle? Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
We can't beat De La Salle. That's one thing we can't.
Oh, Mason.
Wait a minute. Did you say that on it? You know we're on air, right?
I know.
Okay.
We can't beat De La
Well,
Salle.
you might want to.
I'm sorry, Logan.
No, hey, Centennial's beaten them once.
Look at that.
One
Once.
time.
He's
So.
a guy who's willing to take a stand. I like that.
All right, guys. So you know the Inland Sports Show is going to make you famous. How are you guys going to handle the fame of just going around the IE and being celebrities?
Just gotta be humble about it. You gotta take it one step at a time and be humble. That's all it takes.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Give back, right? I mean,
Yeah,
help
give
old
back,
ladies
yeah.
across the street.
Exactly.
Good representation.
Oh,
Push the
hold the
button,
door
you know?
open.
So you're both baseball players, right?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
ALNL.
I know.
AL.
There you go. Look at that.
Who's your favorite teams?
I'm
Favorite
an
baseball
Angels
teams?
fan.
I'm a Dodger fan.
Angel fan.
Jeez, like polar opposites in here.
There
This
it
is
is.
great.
Yeah, it is. Well, in Southern California, that's how it goes.
Yeah. It is.
I want to ask Cameron because Holy Names is in the Pac West, right?
Yeah,
So you
correct,
guys
yeah.
play Cal Baptist University.
Yeah, we did.
So
Yeah.
you were hurt though, right? When you
I
guys
was.
played
But
CBU.
I did see the games though.
So what when you saw CBU, what did you think of the Lancers?
Oh, I thought they were in a league of their own. To be honest with you, you can see the numbers. They ran through the Pac West. It's one of the better conferences in Division II baseball. And they're in a league of their own. There's the top 4 starting pitchers are sitting low 9s. They got good stuff. Adcock's running a really good program out of there, bringing in great recruits every year. And they got power bats, Chavaria and Lore. I would say 1 through 9 have ability to put the ball to the park. I mean, I remember playing the first pitch that our pitcher threw was to their leadoff hitter. They put it over the left field fence, and then his next at bat, he did the same exact thing. I think they hit like 8 home runs in the series. It was just a show they were putting on. So I'm actually really intrigued to watch them play in the playoffs this year. Yeah, it should be good.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to watch them right here in Riverside because right now they were number 2 in the West, which is a sham, I think. But they should be number 1, and they were number 2, but they could move up to number 1, and the number 1 team hosts the West region. And when they were number 2, it didn't account for their victories against Azusa Pacific, which also clinched the Pac West Conference Championship. So I think on Sunday night, when the selection show comes out for the NCAA Division II tournament, when they announce the West region, I think there's a very good chance that Cal Baptist will be hosting that West region. So Cameron and Mason too. I mean, you guys can come right here in Riverside and check out the Lancers in action. They were at number 6 in the nation.
Yeah,
in
no,
D2.
they got a good program over there, and they should make a pretty good run at the title this year for sure.
Who was the ace? I interviewed their ace. It was Tyson Miller, I think it was,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, correct. Yeah.
And I was looking at their stats, and I'm like, okay, Tyson Miller's having a great year. But the other 2 guys, their starters, you mentioned a 4th guy too, I'm like, their numbers are crazy. They're all like, there's like 3 or 4 aces on that
I
staff,
would agree.
which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, if they went to any other school in the Pac West, they would definitely be the ace on their team. But just so deep, that deep depth in the playoffs will definitely play.
Being an IE guy, Cameron, when you played them, or like when Holy Names played them, because you were hurt, but were you like, man, I really want to beat these guys?
Yeah, without a doubt. Especially coming back home, you tell guys about the program and what they're doing. So yeah, I would like to get a victory, but our team just wasn't up to that.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully.
And Mason, why didn't you guys make the playoffs at SBVC? You guys were right there, on the cusp. You were on the bubble. You were so close.
I don't know why I had to bring that up right now.
See, on the Inland Sports Show, we have no secrets.
Yeah.
We just talk.
It's okay.
I want to say that we just fell off the last 2 weeks, and our bullpen let us down in a couple games that we had to lead, and couldn't throw strikes, and we were walking people, and especially against Barstow, a couple games against Barstow, our pitching really let us down in that sense. And then when it came to Chafee, I mean, we lost twice by 1 run. And it came down to the 9th inning twice, and I feel like just nothing went our way in the last 2 weeks of the season, and we played hard, but that's baseball for you. It's I don't want to say it's a superstitious game, but if you look at the Kansas City Royals, everything went their way. Not even 2014, but also 2015 when they won it all. Just everything went their way. Great defense and their bullpen, and we just couldn't get it done in that sense.
And basically the opposite happened to you guys down the stretch when you needed to put everything together the most.
Wasn't. It's just we were back-to-back league champs, and it just wasn't meant to be back-to-back champs. So next year though, we'll see.
Chafee had a pretty good team. They've got some IE guys on that squad, right?
They had a guy who had 9 home runs, Kevin Riley. He was the conference player of the year. Great stick, great third baseman. Made some amazing plays against us that saved a lot of runs. So yeah. Props to them. I mean, we hate Chafee, but props to them. They played good, and they're a good team. A good team.
Hate's a strong word.
Yeah.
It's a rival. Come on,
it is a rival. We'll say hate.
So you're a UCLA guy. Do you not hate USC?
Yeah.
I have the utmost respect for USC.
Oh my gosh. He's just saying that on the air.
You know that.
When he gets off the air, you should hear his mouth.
Come on, you're so full of it.
So you're hoping to play Cal State San Bernardino, it sounds like?
Yeah.
Maybe a tryout?
Yeah. Coach just hit me up, and he wants to get a workout in, so that'll be exciting.
Cool. When you go there, just say, I'm part of the Inland Sports Show, if that helps.
I will.
I mean,
But
if
you
carries anyway.
want to interview? Pep's here.
Yeah.
You know what?
You know what?
Tell them that the powder blue uniforms brings out the blue in your eyes.
Yeah.
You know what's exciting about Cal State San Bernardino is they have a brand new coach, and he just came over
he's a
last
good
year.
dude. He was at the Rev game yesterday.
He took him all the way to the playoffs the first time, and
yeah,
that's super exciting for that program.
That program's turning around. It was on hard times last year. It's certainly turning around.
Last 3 years it's been really hard, so it's exciting to see them turn around.
Tell him if he offers you a scholarship, he can come on air and have an interview for free. A nice little trade-off right there, right?
Okay, perfect.
You can come right in and do the interview. Guys, we're happy to have you on board. And just like we had with intern Ja Rule, you're going to have to earn nicknames. Once we get to know you a little bit better, we'll find out what you guys are all about. We'll give you nicknames. And at the end of every show, we're going to quiz you and be like, what did you learn about the show today? Maybe it's something maybe technical about the show, like, you know what, I know that you better always have the mic off when you're off the air because you don't want to say something stupid and then go out across the airways. Or maybe it's something like we had a coach, Santiago's coach came in, and we'll be like, hey, guys, so you'll know this, Mason, but like, what league did they win? Like, always see if you're paying attention to our interviews and our guests.
Exactly.
So we just want to keep you guys.
There are a
on
lot
your
of leagues
toes.
in high school. So that'd be a good question,
Maybe if it's something out of your
exactly
like the Sun Kiss League.
Exactly. I didn't even
Or
know
the
that
Mountain Pass League.
I didn't even know that was a league.
But before we get to all that, shouldn't we just give them the real simple questions that Ja could not answer? Just a couple of them to see if they're actually on the level to actually do the beyond.
See, we're like lobbing you guys pitches right now. Ja was on a tee. Like we were just setting it up on a tee. We're like, dude, just hit it.
No, serious.
Just hit it right here.
It was full on a tee.
It's like right here.
What came to Ja Rule? Why Ja Rule? Is there a story behind it?
Okay, originally because Pep just liked the way it sounded. His name's Javier.
Okay.
And so Pep just liked the way Ja Rule sounded. Ja Rule, rapper, whole deal. And then it just kind of grew from there.
He's a Mexican guy, obviously Javier. So Ja Rule's like the farthest thing from Javier.
All right, there it is.
And then
and then he's kind of semi-timid, and he does a lot of things where he has great success at. But when he fails at something, it's not just a minor failure; it is an epic fail.
But we still love him for it. He's like part of the family. But we all, it's like a little brother giving him a noogie, like, oh, Ja.
Well, the last couple of weeks, though, we were giving him questions that were real simple questions, and we got to go.
Yeah, we're running out of time here. But guys, we're happy to have you on board. We're going to give you a nickname, and it's going to be fun. You guys are going to have a good summer. We'll put you to work.
Thank you.
My car's the silver one out there, by the way. If you guys got a bucket and soap, okay. So, It's all brought to you by Adrenaline Athletic Training. AdrenalineAthletic.com is the website. Please check out their information on their travel ball teams for baseball, softball, training programs, boot camps. They do it all. Spoiled, quick, quality oil change right here in Riverside. It's in the name. They give you, what is it, a carnation, right, Zink? It's a
Yep.
flower, a carnation.
Yep.
They give you mints. Hook it all the way up. And Remax Advantage, nobody sells more real estate. Nobody. 909-307-5665. Visit remaxadvantage.me. It's been a fun show. Kind of a wacky show, not our traditional show that we've done, but it's okay. I was gone last week. I'm back. It'll be better than ever next week as we will kind of recap round 1 of the high school baseball and softball playoffs. For David Zink, for Mason, for Cameron, I'm Pep Fernandez. We'll see you next time on the one and only Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM.